Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am the scene soon I'd like to welcome you to my review of Weapons. I did watch this movie late Saturday night, and now I am going to give you my thoughts. This is a non-spoiler review. I do want to say hello to everyone currently joining us on X and Rumble. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. Already in the chat, Gambit 1987, sorry. The Tired Midnight Blogger, the voice of Northern Oklahoma. Nothing to see here, citizen. It's Curtis Selby, channel member. Faithful Blue Wrench channel member, the Bird Woman of YouTube. Watch out for her channel, Fluff Chick Productions. It's kind of clear. Friend of the channel, Tune the News. Andrea Black in the house. Channel member, JPRPH1. Deep Henzak. All right. This is the latest from Zach Krieger. He was the writer-director of Barbarian a couple of years ago, a movie that I was very mixed on. I liked elements of it, but then I found others to be predictable. And it kind of took it kind of downgraded the movie for me. I didn't have that problem here. This is a movie that kept me guessing until very late in the film when it finally spells everything out for you. Well, I don't want to say spells everything out for you. This is a movie where you have to pay attention because all of the clues are there. You are not spoon-fed information. You have to put the pieces together on your own. But there is a certain point where you're like, okay, I get what's going on. Now, Zach Krieger has said that one of the influences on the film was Magnolia. And I can certainly see that. There are multiple characters. We see multiple points of view. The characters come to interact in ways that you don't necessarily expect. The story is told through the eyes of 6 particular characters. And each one gets their own chapter, and each one has their own piece of the puzzle, so to speak. Starts out one night where 17 kids who all belong to the same 3rd grade class. At 2:17 a.m., they all, like I said, get out of bed, walk downstairs, and out of the front door and into the night, and they vanish without a trace. The next day, their teacher, who's a character named Justine Gandy, who's played by Julia Garner. She arrives at school, goes into her classroom, and finds that only one of the children remain, a child by the name of Alex. They are both interrogated by the police. Um, neither of them has a clue what's going on, but very quickly the teacher comes under suspicion because it turns out she has something of a checkered past, and she also has an alcohol abuse problem. Um, I'm not giving anything away here. You find all of this out fairly quickly. Um, Again, this is a non-spoiler review. I don't want to give this film away. So you can tell just by that statement. I did enjoy this film quite a bit. It's very surprising. I I went into it with an open mind because I did like the trailer, but we've been fooled by good trailers before. But man, this movie brings it. You know, we the night that the children disappear is only the first few minutes of the film, and then you cut to 1 month later. You still have the town dealing with the disappearance. There are no clues, nothing. The cops are at wit's end. The FBI has been brought in, the whole 9 yards. Now, each character, the characters that the film focuses in on, all of them represent various stages of grief. You have, the character that's in denial. You have the character who is at the anger stage. You have the character who just kind of wants it all to be over, you know. Um, so that's very much, it is very much a factor in the film. And this is a movie where there is a lot going on. There are references that can be made to other films, for sure. It is a movie that does have comedic moments, but it's kind of darkly funny. I do want to say this though. I don't think the movie overdoes it with the comedic elements. They're there. I grant you that. I don't think that the comedic elements are as prevalent as some reviewers would like you to think. I do see this first and foremost as a horror film. I do. And it's also very much a character study of this particular group of characters and how each of them in their own way is dealing with what's going on or not dealing with what's going on at the same time. And the fact that a number of the characters make a turn. Everybody who is a main character, and I really do consider this an ensemble piece. everybody has an arc, and that's what's interesting, is that each of the characters is treated like the movie is about them. And when you're going to make an ensemble piece like that, that's what I look for. You know, Magnolia is like that. Pulp Fiction, which is a movie that was running through my mind quite a bit when I was watching this, as far as pacing was concerned. Every I like it when every character in a movie is kind of given their due and is treated. The characters are treated with respect. Nobody is a throwaway character. Like I said, everybody kind of has their piece of the puzzle, and and then it becomes kind of, okay, who's going to make it to the end to put everything together? And well, you might be surprised. Now, for those of you who may be concerned about violence in the film, again, what you've heard is true. Um, it's not a movie that is like violent or gory straight through, but when those violent moments happen, they're fairly intense. And there are a couple of places where you may look away, So I tell you, the violent scenes work. The gore is there. Especially in that third act. And I don't want to give the third act away, but it's pretty wild. It goes there. Yeah, I'll give you that. The performances in this are spot on, from everybody, I think. There is, and hello to Big Al Presents, there is someone in the film who was not part of the initial marketing. Let's just put it that way. And you might not know who this person is at first, until you get very late in the film. But let's just say that there is someone who is kind of lurking in the shadows, so to speak. And once they arrive on the scene, they're hell on wheels. So I thought, wow, that was a really interesting, very unexpected performance. Everybody is good. Jennifer, I almost said Jennifer. Julia Garner is fantastic in this, because she goes from one of the things that the movie does very well is it kind of peels the characters like onions, and you kind of, it's like Shrek. Onions have layers, and the characters in this movie have layers as well, because everybody has something. Everybody has an agenda. Everybody has a secret, and everybody has something to hide. And some more than others. But these are not perfect people. They all have And one theme that goes through the film is addiction. You have all of the characters have their addictions. They have their obsessions, and it's all to their detriment as the film goes on. You know, because something like that can be preyed upon, and that's what begins to happen in this movie. Weapons is a very good title for this film, and it has multiple meanings within the course of the film. There's a lot going on thematically. You have, you know, what happens to a town that is dealing with a tragedy such as this. You have basically this cancel culture thing going on, because the school teacher becomes public enemy number one in the eyes of a lot of the townspeople. You have the through line of addiction. There are, I mean, it doesn't delve as deep into it as I was worried it was going to, but it does make reference to school shootings. It doesn't go there. I did not see this as a political film in any way. And welcome, Fragrance of Style. Welcome. Now, one of the things I was worried about going in was that this was going to be a political film. It isn't, and nothing like that should be read into this movie. There's no, if there's any messaging in it at all, it would be whatever your takeaway, your own personal takeaway is going to be. But I didn't see this as it wasn't hitting you over the head with any particular message, and I appreciate that in a mainstream movie, especially now. You can be. This is a movie that you can be entertained by. You can be scared, and anybody who's been following my channel for any long period of time, it's not easy to scare me in a movie. And did I find this movie particularly scary? I've seen scarier films, sure. I did find it, there are scares in here that work. I did jump a few times. There is a sense of dread. Did I find it unnerving? In places, I really did. Yeah. And again, I really don't want to go too far into it because again, this is a non-spoiler review. Maybe I'll do a spoiler thing down the line. We'll see. Um, but I really want people to go out and me. I don't really suggest going to the theaters to see a movie very often. But I am suggesting it here, and see this movie on the biggest screen that you can with the best sound system that you can, because it really does add a level to it. Um, I watched this movie on an IMAX screen, and it really does pull you in. It really makes you feel like you are a fly on the wall for everything that is going on. Um, let's see. I don't want to ignore the chat. Enigma Severus has joined us. Good to see you, sir. Which one did I think was better? Bloodlines or Weapons? I haven't seen Final Destination yet. It is available now on streaming. I hope to find some time this week to see it. I have not had that chance yet, so I can't compare the two. I've heard good things about Bloodlines. Um, I want to see it for Tony Todd's scene alone. Um, I've heard good things about the film itself, so I'm hoping that I don't know if I'll like it any better than this. We'll see. Uh, I wish I could answer that question for you. I have not seen Bloodlines yet. Um, but I tell you, as far review wise, I am very highly recommending Weapons. I am giving it my buy it on 4K grade. I think it is that good. I was very surprised, like I said, when it came to Zach Krieger's previous film, which was Barbarian. There were things in that movie that I enjoyed, but there were other scenes that I thought were very predictable. And this movie is not. It was, in my opinion, not predictable. I did not know where this was going. Um, uh, which is what made the trailer, that first initial trailer. And I didn't watch anything after that. I didn't watch any of the trailers, any scenes that might have been on here on YouTube. I didn't watch anything because I didn't want to risk anything being given away. And that first trailer does not give away anything. And that's what was so good about it. How does this film compare with Late Night? I assume you mean Late Night with the Devil. Well, they're very different films. Because with Late Night with the Devil, you are in essentially one room throughout. It's happening in real time. I was a big fan of Late Night with the Devil. I enjoyed that movie quite a bit. How does this film compare? I think they're equally as good, but they're two very different films. But they were movies that surprised me by how good they were. You know, I I thought it was cool that they got David Dasmalchian in a starring role. You know, he finally, you know, I hope he does more of them. Um, he has a very funny bit in the movie The Life of Chuck that I reviewed a couple of months ago. It's on streaming now. Another movie I very highly recommend. Check that out. Um, the acting here is very good, and like I said, everybody gets their moment in the sun, so to speak. And every character, all of the main characters, they have an arc. And it's pretty interesting. You know, they are not the people that they were at the beginning. And like I said, I like it. And it's so rare in a horror movie that you get character arcs like this. You get, you know, because so often characters in horror movies are just cardboard cutout, kind of cliched characters. You kind of know who's going to live and who's going to die by the end of it. And, you know, you're pretty sure you know who the final girl is going to be. You know, this is very different, you know, because when I say that this movie reminds me, well, Zach Krieger has already said Magnolia was an inspiration, one of the inspirations for this film. Um, you know, he has also said there's some semi autobiographical stuff in it. You know, which kind of makes me wonder, damn man, what kind of childhood did you have? Um, See, you know, it's interesting. Like take Julia Garner's character for example. She goes from being this mousy school teacher to falling into alcoholism, you know, and then in the end, you know, kind of fighting back and saying, you know, damn it, I'm going to solve this thing, you know. So there's that, you know. Um, the arc that the young boy takes throughout the film, you know, which I don't want to give away because a lot of it would be spoilers. The arc that the boy goes through is very interesting. Um, it's been a great year for child acting between the young actor in this film to the young boy who played Spike in 28 Years Later to the kids in Sketch. I'm seeing some of the best child acting that I've seen on film in a very long time. Um, the kids and Bring Her Back. Um, in particular, the boy who's on a lot of the posters. Um, that was a rough film to get through. Um, you know, because I have a thing when it comes to films where children are in danger, and that paternal thing kicks in, man, and you know, you do have moments in this where it's like, oh, you scared the kid? Okay, come over here and try scaring me now. You know, you really do want to reach in through the screen and clock some people by the end of this movie. Um, but yeah, the character arcs that everyone takes. Um, you know, Josh Brolin's character, who is just so taken over by by his anger, and everyone is just telling him, move on, and try and make a life for yourself, and he can't, and he's just so, and he becomes obsessed, because, there's like, the movie makes a great effect of, kind of like that Ring camera footage that you see, and he becomes obsessed with this camera footage, this Ring camera footage, and he's just watching it over and over, and he's trying to find something different, and he's looking for anything that's out of place, and every character in their own way is kind of playing detective, so to speak. And like I said, everybody has a piece of the puzzle, and it's just a matter of getting them together and putting the pieces together. And like, this movie works as a horror film. It works. I think it works very well as a character driven mystery, and I think that's what I like about it the most. It is the mystery, is the character building. It's a movie that works on multiple levels, and you don't see that very often in a movie today. And right now, this movie is in my top 10. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. This is a buy it on 4K. Definitely. Um, and I know I'm being very vague about certain things. I don't want to give anything. I really don't want to give anything away. I want people to go out and kind of find this movie on their own and give it a chance. And you may need a viewing or two to take everything in. I'm considering a second viewing, for sure, um, to just kind of see if I can pick up on certain things. Because, like I said, this is a movie that does not spoon feed you information. It treats you like you're smart, and that you can put the pieces together on your own. And are there questions at the end? Sure, but I am of the belief that, maybe if you give it a second viewing, you'll pick up on something that some little detail that you might have missed because it didn't seem important at first, and there is a lot of that in this movie. And where you're kind of asking yourself these questions, and you're picking up on these little clues, and you might not necessarily know what it means, but okay, that's something that I have to remember for later. And I love it when a movie does that. This is a very well written, very well thought out film. And I think I'm probably going to do a spoiler review on this maybe later in the week. And maybe bring on a couple of people who have seen it, because I really do want to talk about this movie with someone who's seen it. And it's an interesting film, and it has a lot to say. And there are a number of themes that run through it. Um, like I said, the stages of grief, addiction, um, cancel culture. Um, there's a lot going on in this film. And I was genuinely very surprised by how much I liked it in the end. And I am very highly recommending Weapons. Please go see it in theaters. Support this movie. It deserves it. And once you've seen it, let me know in the comments what you thought. All right. Fragrant Style says, I liked Final Destination Bloodlines. It was an awesome movie, interesting too. Final Destination 7 is in the works. Well, that wouldn't surprise me. Excited to watch Weapons soon. Yeah, please do. I'm very let me know in the comments what you thought. Glad to hear you liked the film as much as you did. Yeah, I am too. Because it's been this year in film, in my opinion, has been kind of 50-50. I would say I'm probably thumbs up on half the movies I've seen, and then the other half, yeah, negligible. Um, there have definitely been some movies I've enjoyed over others, but this one is definitely near the top of my list. Connie's just planning on seeing it tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't, like I said, this is a non-spoiler. I did my best not to give anything away. I don't think I did. Most of the stuff I talked about is in the very opening minutes of the film. Um, yeah, this is a thumbs up. Go see it. See it as soon as you can. Stay away from any spoiler videos. Don't watch any trailers. Just go in as blind as possible. And it's pretty interesting setup and payoff. So, yeah, I am recommending Weapons. Please check it out. Yeah, Josh Brolin is fantastic in this. He looks a lot like his dad now, and it's a character I can very much see his father playing. If that gives you any idea, um, interesting, very interesting character for him, and he goes through a lot in this movie, and yeah, check it out. I know they originally wanted Pedro Pascal to play his part, and I'm glad that they didn't go with him because I think what Brolin brings to the character is what the movie needed. He brings a certain element to it that I don't think Pedro Pascal would have pulled off as well. Um, it would have been a very different movie with him in it. But what Josh Brolin does here, I think, is spot on. All right. Well, tonight is mystery movie night. So tomorrow at 7 p.m. will be the Mystery Movie Night podcast. I will be joined hopefully by Sin's Corner, Wilkie's Movies and Music off the cover, Kyle Corwith, for that show. At the moment, I don't have a clue what the mystery movie is going to be. Your guess is as good as mine. So this, as long as it's good, I'll be happy. I also right after that at 8:30, live from Sparkwood and 21, which is my Twin Peaks retrospective series. I will be joined as usual by Troy Pacelli, Netter's Network, and Aged Boomer, and we are going to watch and discuss the Psych parody episode Dual Spires. So check that out at 8:30. Of course, stay tuned. More shows and more reviews. And if I do a spoiler, I think I'm a spoiler. All right, can anybody hear me? Please let me know in the chat. Okay. Brief power outage there, guys. Okay. Hey guys, I'm here. Okay. All right. I was about ready to wrap up the review anyway. Like I said, stay tuned tomorrow night to the Mystery Movie Night podcast. That'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern. Of course, join me right after that at 8:30 p.m. for Live from Sparkwood and 21. As the Sparkwood gang and I watch Dual Spires. Hello to Lester's Skeptic Tank Obsessions channel member. Thought I muted myself again. Nope. Just lost power to my computer for a moment. Everything's good. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and wrap the show here. Weapons. It is in my top 10 right now for the year. I am giving it a 4 out of 5. Please go see it in theaters and check it out once it hits 4K. It ought to be pretty good. So from HQ and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond, good night. Take care. Stay strong. Be safe and healthy. Because this is how we win. Thank you to everybody joining on X and Rumble. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. Thank you to everyone who joined us in the chat, especially Fragrance's Style. Hope you return. Hope you like what you see. Hit the like, share out the stream, say hello in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Memberships are available.